Hi guys, today we're looking at the IELTS Speaking Task 2. And some of you might already know how to answer this, but today we're going to look at how to answer this effectively. So we've looked at task 1 already, and we know that goes for about 4 to 5 minutes. Quite simple introduction, interview, get to know you type questions. Then after that, in the task 2, we are given a task card, like this one here on screen. And we are given 1 minute to prepare to answer this. And then we need to speak uninterrupted for at least 1 minute, but no more than 2 minutes. So they're not going to be conversing with you. It needs to be you telling a whole story by yourself. And you're normally describing something, so you are speaking about an experience. So this can be very challenging, and it can be difficult to link your ideas together to maintain the talk. And the same to task 1 for all the speaking actually. We've looked at the criteria before. So it's the same here. We need to think about our pronunciation. So we need to use intonation when we are speaking. Try not to speak with a monotone voice. We need to be fluent too. And it can be difficult because you are speaking by yourself for such a long time. So try to avoid or a long pause. We need to try to avoid these during the task 2. And also in the task 1, we spoke about vocabulary, and that's the same for the task 2. We need to try to not repeat the same words. So try and use synonyms. Try and use challenging words. Try and avoid simple, safe words like, love, hate. Try and use more challenging vocabulary. And finally, we need to think about our grammar, especially in the task 2. We should try and follow this system of PPF. So we try and speak about the past, the present, and the future. We only have a short time to impress the examiner, so we need to do all of these things in order to get a successful score. We'll look more into this very soon. But first of all, once we are given the card, we are given 1 minute to prepare our answers. So we need to take some notes. Like you can see here on screen, we have this task 2 card. Describe your favorite photograph. So we need to speak about all of these things on the card. We need to say when the photograph was taken, what it looks like, and what significant memory you have regarding this photograph. So it's not too challenging, but in that minute, it's so important that we take some notes. So write keywords next to each of these points. Do not write sentences. You do not have time. So once we have some keywords, then we can link up when we're speaking. And remember what the next subject is that we're talking about. So here on screen are what my notes look like for this speaking. I have grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary. 8 or 9 years old was my age. What it looks like. I have formal attire, and I have my grandfather's glasses, grandmother's flowers. The significance regarding the photograph is the importance of family, the happiness from that day, and sadness because they've both passed away. And when we do start our talk, we need to introduce the subject. So we need to say something like, I would like to talk about a photograph, or I'm going to tell you about a photograph. We need to prepare the talk with one of these introductions. And remember, during the talk, we need to use different tenses, the past, the present, and the future. We need to try and inject different vocabulary and try not to repeat the same words. So once we have our keywords, it should be easier to structure our talk. We know how we need to start. We know we need different tenses and different vocabulary. So here's my example. I'm going to tell you about a photograph that was taken when I was only 9 to 10 years old of my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary, and it is one of my favorite photographs. I do not have the clearest memory regarding the event when the photograph was taken, but I have seen it thousands of times, and I still look at it with such joy and sorrow. The photograph is a black and white one that I have framed and put on my bedroom wall. The reason I get mixed emotions when I look at the photo is because of the happiness the family felt at the time of their anniversary, and gloomy feelings as my grandfather and grandmother are no longer with us. In the picture, they look so lively, but I can't be with them anymore. My grandfather had spectacles on his eyes and had his hair brushed back, while my grandmother was wearing very formal attire with her favorite flowers pinned on her dress. They both looked so fresh and happy in the picture. This photograph is probably my most favorite one, as it conveys my grandparents' memory and depicts a happy family. Every time I look at this particular picture, it gives a different sensation, a mixture of enjoyment and sadness. This is a priceless possession to me, and I would like to keep it with me for the rest of my life. So in here, you can see I started off by saying, I'm going to tell you about. In here, I use the present simple, I use the past simple, and then I finished with the future. I used a wide range of different vocabulary when speaking about the photo. I spoke about joy, sorrow, happiness, sadness, gloomy. So in here, I followed the same structure as the card, in order. I followed the same keywords that I had. And I hope that was helpful for you. Please feel free to like, comment, or share. And if you'd like to watch the end of this video, please check out my website in the demo section, and I'll show you how to answer the follow-up questions. I hope to see you soon.